Hi, welcome to yet another special episode of Small Town Big Stories, a very remarkable episode indeed on allaboutbelgaum.com. Today we are going to feature a very accomplished personality from the city of Belgaum. But before I go to him and start my questions and answer session, I want to talk about the Union Public Service Commission. This is an extremely difficult test, not just about your academic prowess, but also about your personality as a whole. If I have to talk about the broad picture of this year, just about 13 lakh students from all over India appeared for the prelims for this exam, that is UPSC. Around 14,000 cleared it and 2,900 appeared for the interview. And can you imagine, it was only 1,016 candidates who were selected from among 13 lakh students who went for the first round. This is a pass percentage of 0.07%. And it gives a clear idea how rigorous this test would have been. And in all this, our Belgaum lad, the son of Belgaum soil, that is Rahul Patil, we are here at Kalkham, which is a small village nestled among the Kanbargi hills. And this is the village where Rahul Patil grew up. We are at his very beautiful rustic home in Kalkham village. Rahul, first of all, hearty congratulations on clearing the UPSC exam and making the city proud.
Thank you so much.
Rahul has scored a rank of 804, which is very impressive considering the difficulty of this exam. And Rahul has been a very meritorious student. We are just interacting with him for a few minutes and we can see the down-to-earth personality that he has. Rahul, I want to take us through the journey of this success because it's such a rare phenomenon and that is what makes it phenomenal, I should say. I want to know about this village and this upbringing.
I was born in this village and when I was born, this home wasn't there. We used to stay, there was another shed besides this home and we used to stay there. And my parents always taught me that we have to be connected to the village. To the soil of the village. I think they have ingrained me this quality of mind, and I've always been connected to this village. Although I have lived an urban life for the last few years, but I think there is a rural person inside me that still stays very close to me. That's all.
Did that play a good role, a major role in your success, that you are so rooted in your soil? You are connected, you know the ground reality.
I think it does play a big role.
Okay.
Because no matter where we reach, we have to know the roots.
Yes.
And through roots, that is, we have a vision of what we want to do in the future.
Yes, exactly.
And through the village, the problems that we face in the villages is something which I look forward to, and to resolve those issues.
Yes.
Is something which gives me a motivation towards studying or towards achieving my goals.
Okay.
So yeah, I think roots do play a big role.
Roots play a major role in how high you soar with your wings later on in life. Rahul, I want to know from you, when was that time when this germ idea that you can try and you should try for UPSC, that was germinated in your mind?
I was in 9th grade.
Okay.
But that was not the decision-making time for me. But 9th grade was the first seeds were sown. My teacher, who was preparing for KPSC, she told me about what UPSC is and what it does and what opportunities arise out of it.
Okay.
And since then, I was closely watching officers and different persons involved with this UPSC, in the officers. And at that time, I think Rahul Patil was the SP of Belagavi.
Yes.
And he inspired me actually
Did you meet him ever?
Unfortunately, I couldn't.
Okay.
I was very young, but I have seen
any other officers you have interacted with at that time, school, college level?
At that time, not personally, but I have seen them while speaking and everything. And I can see what changes they can bring to the people.
Right.
That inspired me a lot. But the decision making became clear in the 12th grade when I had to reject NDA.
Oh, you were aspiring for NDA also?
I was trying, I was keeping my options open, but luckily I got into it and I got recommended for NDA.
Okay.
And I had to let it go. It was a very tough decision from my end.
Okay.
But then I was clear that I wanted to serve in the civil lines.
Yeah, this is a very clear link. What we are seeing is somewhere the thought that you have to give back to society or to do something for your country is always there behind your mind?
It was always there, and that decision consolidated that aspect
Okay,
of mine.
okay,
And I think I have stood by that decision. I've
Right.
always backed. Although sometimes I feel when I was not succeeding in my first 4 attempts, I felt okay, maybe NDA was not bad option that time. But then I stood
stood your ground and yeah,
stood my ground and told myself that whatever happens, I have
Okay.
to serve in the civil
Okay.
amongst the people.
okay. So you completed your engineering.
Yes.
So I think that somewhere gave you a safety net that if not this, then at least you can come back to your engineering background and have a career. Did you also work somewhere before starting full-fledged preparation for UPSC?
I completed my graduation in 2018.
Okay.
And I was thinking of joining campus placement. In one of the interviews where I reached the final round, they asked me like, do you want to join the services? I think you are good enough for us, but would you like to join the services?
Okay.
And I said, to be very honest, sir, that my future plan is so and so. I might join, but I have to leave in a year or so.
What a great prophecy they did, that they actually knew that you had the spark to be a civil servant.
So I told them that maybe a year or two I'll join your company, and
Okay.
maybe after that I can.
So meanwhile, you wanted to give a try to UPSC as well.
But they said since your passion lies towards civil services, we would like to take someone who is more towards
corporate life, leaning towards corporate life.
So I thought that was fair enough, and then I said I want to
Okay.
believe myself.
You withdrew from the corporate
Yes,
Rigma role, exactly. So after this, you flung yourself in preparations.
Yes, ma'am. First year I was in Delhi in 2019, and after that I came back to my hometown, and 2.5 years, 3 years I was in home. I was at home during the COVID period. I was giving my attempts every year, but somehow there was lack of, I would say, the guidance as to what is required for this exam. Since the exam is not tough, but the competition is so high.
Yes.
We need to know what we can do in order to be better than most of the people.
Better than others. Just being yourself good enough is not good enough, perhaps. You have to be better than the rest, because 13 lakh and just 1016 students or candidates getting selected, that's a very, very big ratio of success. I want to know that interim period when you were giving your attempts, I'm sure the role of your family has been huge, because any normal person would have gotten disheartened or maybe started doubting and feeling that, okay, let me go back to my engineering career, but you didn't give up.
That period came in 2022 actually.
Okay.
I had given 2 mains.
Okay.
And in the 4th attempt, I could not clear my prelim stage itself again.
Oh, after giving mains, you couldn't clear prelims.
And that was very heartbreaking. And I almost had made a decision that I want to move on from this and start something else.
Okay.
But my family stood by me, and they
Very
told
nice.
me that you have come very close now.
Okay.
Don't leave this. We are here to support you.
Yeah.
Whatever your needs and requirements are there, we are ready to fulfill them.
They had that belief that you will make it.
More than myself, I think they believed in me.
I think this is a common thread among many civil service aspirants, where the family sticks by their resolve. We have seen many such cases.
Yes, ma'am.
How was that tough time, and how did you change your preparations from, how did you better yourself in terms of preparations?
First thing I did was I went to Delhi back again.
Okay.
And there I connected with few of the professors who were in this journey. The teachers, the mentors, I met them. And I asked them what was wrong with my strategy. So they told me some strategies too. And I thought that answer writing is the most important aspect in clearing this exam, because mains is the most 85% weightage is of mains.
Okay.
So if you are good enough with the answer writing, I think you are good enough to clear this exam. So, but even then, prelims becomes again dicey, and every year and year after year, prelims is being more dicey.
Okay.
So I gave around 5 to 6 months, especially for prelims.
Okay.
And then mains, I was good enough, and I honed the skills of answer writing. I tried various strategies, and this year I thought I was good enough, so I gave my mains again, and luckily I got through. I got through interview as well.
Okay. We want to come to that, because a lot of reels are available. Aisa hota hai interview. This is what they look for. Sometimes they ask very tricky questions just to gauge your personality. How was that experience?
Interview was very good. This was my first interview. I was nervous when I entered they made me calm down and they
Okay.
said, relax, it's just a conversation.
How many people were there?
There were 5 people.
5. Okay.
It was Lieutenant General Raj Shukla board,
Okay.
and then there were 4 other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very enriching experience. They asked me a lot of questions, very wide horizon of questions they
Okay.
asked me on. And some of the questions I wasn't able to answer.
Yeah.
But,
But it's okay to say that I am not aware about this. You know?
I went inside just telling myself that it's not a test of knowledge, but a test of personality.
Personality.
So
Are the questions also focused on testing your resolve, your grit and determination, and your ability to take decisions? Do they test that also?
Yeah, I think that is the most that has been told to them. That is their criteria that they want to judge upon. And knowledge base they have already tested
Yes,
in
prelims and mains.
So
Right.
their main agenda is to check the personality.
Okay.
And they asked me some tricky questions, whether I'll crumble under the pressure or not. But I guess I think I handled it pretty well.
How did you prepare for that mental toughness?
I gave a lot of mocks actually.
Okay.
Around 15 mocks I gave.
Interviews.
Interview mocks. And they were very, the nerves, whatever I had before my first mock were down into, up to my 15th mock.
Okay.
And although even in the actual interview there was nerves, because it's, of course, that is the actual interview.
Okay.
But then there was that muscle memory was helping me, that I have given mocks before.
Okay.
And this is just like
you will
mock.
do it. It's just a part of how you were doing it.
Yeah.
At this stage, the success rate comes down drastically, and because it becomes half, like 2,900 to just 1,016. So, how on what criteria do they judge these candidates?
The first important or the most important criteria is integrity. Secondly, I would say,
How do you show your integrity?
they have our what do you call DAF?
Oh,
A detailed application form.
Okay.
It's like a CV, and we have all our history with them.
okay.
They ask us question based on that. What did you do in school? How was it? What was your experience? So not general questions like who is that or what is that, but what did you do in that?
Probing deeper into your personality.
Just to know, just like meeting someone random person
Okay.
and asking about their life. So they asked me about my life and what decisions I took and how did I take them. So
Okay. Are you going to try again to better your ranking?
I think I'm going to attempt another go at it. I
Okay.
have one more left.
One more.
Yeah, I have given 5 attempts.
Okay.
And
There are total 7.
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully this year or probably next year.
Next year. Okay. So now you are all set day after tomorrow to go for your Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy for your training as an officer.
Yeah.
How is that feeling?
It feels good. That Labasna is something which every aspirant keeps a photo of in front of their,
as a visualization, something that I'm going to be here.
yeah. So I think that feeling of going to Labasna is giving me goosebumps even today. But that is not my aim. My aim is much bigger than that.
Okay.
Labasna is just one step, and once I get into service,
It's just where you will be baked as a officer, and then you have to come out, and your actual role begins there.
yeah, that is I think.
What role do you see as a civil servant in today's India?
On a larger basis, on the larger interest, I think civil servants are the permanent executives. They are called the permanent executives.
Okay.
And they play a big role in forwarding this nation's interests, whether it is in the foreign affairs or in the economy of the India or the social side of India. They play a big role. At the grassroots level, from where we start actually, as a DC or the STM, we have a big role to play in uplifting poverty, in bringing down the discrimination that goes on in the society, or providing the livelihood to the people. So I think from the grassroots level to the top level, we as officers have a big role to play in.
It's often observed that a lot of engineers are getting into UPSC, more number of engineers. Is it their structured thinking and design thinking pattern that actually helps them first crack the UPSC and then become very efficient civil servants? You feel that trend?
I can tell,
because you are also an engineer.
I can speak for myself here. I don't know what others are motivated towards, but I think yes, as you said, engineering is like a cause-effect relationship that we learn about.
Yes.
And I think in problem solving, we need to learn about the cause-effect.
Yeah.
and that aspect helps us understand the gravity of the situation and bring effective solutions.
So you become more focused, solution oriented. You become because of your engineering
I
training.
think yes. In that
Okay.
sense.
Now, one more important thing I want to ask you. So Rahul, I want to know from you, you are from Belgaum, you are rather from the rural part of Belgaum, which is Kalkham, and we are here today at your very, very beautiful house. It is normally said and observed, I am also from Belgaum, that the level of ambition, the fire in the belly is somewhere a little low in Belgaum students because they have it all kind of. You know, you don't have to fight for life as such. So जिंदगी के लिए झगड़ना पड़ रहा है ऐसे नहीं होता है. You have a safety net, you are खाऊं पीऊं सुखी sort of. So you feel that that somewhere plays a role. We see UP and Bihar students, you know, struggling for UPSC and civil services. What differs between Belgaum students? Why are they so less successful candidates in UPSC from Belgaum? We have the merit.
I think yes. I partially agree with what you said, but I think the talent is there in Belgaum.
Yes, we have it.
It's just that, like you said, that motivation or the opportunities. I think they don't know the opportunities.
They don't know. Opportunities are there for everybody.
Yeah. So I think if enough information is disseminated to them, I think they are willing to take up more such roles.
Okay.
It's just that, like you said, Khaun Piyun Sukhi. So they are very happy with what they have.
Yeah.
And, so I think it is one of my vision as well to take Belgaum's map on the global or the at least on the India stage.
Definitely.
And ensure that not only through civil services, there are people coming out of different lifestyles and making big. So I want to ensure that each one who is doing this to give them a platform to grow big.
Okay.
So whatever.
At what level and which are the stakeholders who on whom this responsibility lies? As you said, they are not aware about so many things. Who should do it?
I think from the beginning, it is the role of the parents. But as they grow up, they have to find their own path. And my brother played a big role in my whatever I want to choose. So we coming from a small town and within this small town, coming from a small village, we did not even know what UPSC is. My mother probably don't know what UPSC is still.
She just knows you are successful and she must be happy for you.
She is 10th grade pass and she just knows that my son has cleared something.
But she has raised a good son, 2 sons in fact.
My brother in this scenario I think has helped me a lot.
Okay.
And it helps that an elder brother who has gone and seen the life has come and told me what life is ahead of us. And it helps being the youngest in the house. You and my sister also who is working in Bangalore.
Perhaps they took the responsibility and freed you of all that mental space which was required.
I think what they could not achieve is something they want to see me achieve.
And you did.
And that they have allowed me I think it is a privilege to have elder brothers and elder siblings. And sometimes they walk on the thorns so that I can walk on the rose petals.
They free you of all that
I think
toughness. Okay, you mentioned that you prepared in Belgaum, but then you went to Delhi.
Yes, ma'am.
Delhi is known for these kind of coaching centers. Is the ecosystem so conducive for cracking UPSC? Does that make a huge difference?
I went to Delhi not to join any coaching institution, but to have that environment around me. So that being in that zone itself gives me that motivation. I can have motivation here as well, but the comfort zone is so high that motivation does not come again.
Because everybody is in that same line, perhaps. They are all working towards a common goal.
So looking at others and like they say, it's at the end of the day, it's a competitive exam. So we get to know who is where in the competition when we go to Delhi.
Does it rub on to each other, especially during personality test, the interview round, this kind of an interaction among your peer group, does it help answer?
It definitely does, I think. I had four people around me in my friends group who were giving interview. Unfortunately, they could not make it. But I think whatever I learned in this interview stage, was
largely because of
because of discussions that we made. So we used to ask each other question: what is your vision of India's economy? What is your vision of India's society? So such questions made us know what we want to do, and that helps in the interview as well. So
So, do you have to be opinionated while answering these questions that, okay, this is what I feel, this is my subjective opinion? Do you have to have an opinion on politics, public policy, all these matters?
In interview, yes, I
Okay.
think that is what they are seeking from us.
Mhm.
In mains, we can quote others that so and so person said and so and so this. But in interview, we cannot quote others.
Yes.
They want to know about us.
What do you think about a
So
scenario?
if we give our opinion only, then we can reflect our personality.
Yeah, right.
So I think yes. Opinion.
Then it comes back to newspaper reading.
Yes.
Because you need to know something about everything.
Yes.
How did you prepare for current affairs?
I used to read 3 newspapers during my interview.
Which ones?
Indian Express, The Hindu, and The Mint.
Okay.
And these 3 newspapers helped me.
Mint, of course, for business analytics, it's
Yeah,
very
economy,
good. Yeah, economy as such.
Yes. Mint also, no, I was not reading the corporate news, but
Okay.
just the economy part of Mint.
Okay. Okay.
So it helps. The newspaper reading helps because even the question interviewers have been reading those
Yeah,
newspapers.
right, right. Do you get an objective view of the Indian scenario by reading newspapers?
Yeah, we get to know what is currently going on
Mhm.
and how can India achieve. Like for recently, we are trying to reach the Viksit Bharat by
Yeah,
2047. So how can we achieve that, and what do we need to do to achieve that? So
Yeah.
such ideas we get through newspapers. Different writers come and give their opinions,
Right, right,
and through op-ed and other news,
right.
and we can get to know what are their ideas. So
Okay.
we can put forward those ideas in the interview.
As you are saying about the Viksit Bharat dream of 2047, where India will complete 100 years of its independence, it is a relatively young nation, or it was, but now I think it's going at a fast speed.
Yes.
By the time we are reaching 2047, you will be at the top of your career. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
I haven't thought that long, but 5 years down the line, I want to be among the people, try to solve. My vision as of now is at the grassroots level only. My vision for the India's will be where I will, when I will reach the central government or the secretary level, maybe probably then I will have a good vision. But as a layman, I can tell that by 2047, I want India to be amongst the top 2 at least in the
Okay.
world in terms of economy,
Top 2.
which is a little difficult because US and
Currently, we
China-
are at 5th.
Currently, we are 5th, but top 3 is short.
Okay. The
That is
next
for sure we are
5
reaching.
years, yeah.
But top 2 is something which I am envisioning.
I want to ask you in this context, what do you feel are the most crucial strengths of India which will allow us to be in the top 3?
I think the demography that we have is the biggest strength.
The dividend, demographic dividend, what we have.
In order to utilize this demography, we have to provide the skills that are required. And this manufacturing base, which is very low right now, which is 28%, I think the potential is very high.
Okay.
What China did in 1990s and 2000s, I think we can do what better than what China did.
Okay.
So today, global scenario is such that world is looking at India
Yes.
to be a manufacturing base of the world.
Yes.
And I think if given right impetus to this manufacturing, I think we can reach that level.
Okay. What about the education? Because we see that there's a huge gap between the elite and the ground level in terms of the quality of teachers, infrastructure, and the curriculum.
Yes.
So where do you see yourself? I mean, not yourself as such, but where do you see India in terms of bridging this gap?
I think the new education policy 2020 was the right step in this direction.
Right.
They brought the vocational education to the fore. Before that, education was just bookish and just to
Right.
fill that
Theory part, yeah.
theory part. So I think if rightly implemented, this NEP can bring a lot of dividends
Okay.
in the education sector.
Okay.
At the same time, I think it is the duty of parents as well as teachers to ensure that the right environment is created so that they can go and to become the citizens of India that can uplift India.
Okay. So you have lived all your life in Kalkham.
Yes.
How you used to commute to the city for your education? What were the hardships you faced? Must be very difficult during the rainy season, the bus connectivity.
Yes.
How did you manage that?
During my school, I used to go by cycle. It was very far, around 12 kilometers from here.
You used to cycle all the way from here?
Yeah, from 4th grade to 10th grade.
Oh my God.
Up to 12th, 11th also, but 12th due to my exams.
Vanita Vidyalaya used to go on cycle?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I think that also helped me physically be
Tough, to become tough perhaps.
I used to play cricket for school also. That
Okay.
also helped.
Okay.
So my father is very much inclined towards sports. He says every person needs to play sports. So that
Sportsmanship develops. Maybe it also shaped your personality to a
I
large
think
extent.
it did a lot of it helped a lot.
Okay.
A team sport especially helps
Yes.
that win together, lose together kind of attitude.
You can take both in your stride and still achieve for the next match all over again.
The teamwork or the empath side of mine.
Yeah.
I think that helped through my sports.
Okay. How has this preparation actually shaped you as a person? Has it smoothened some edges? Has it given rise to more facets of your personality?
When I went out of this village to Belgaum, I learned so many things that are in Belgaum and not in this village. So it was a new world for me when I went to school.
Okay.
And when I went to Bangalore again I saw another world.
You went to RV, right?
RV colleges. For my engineering,
Yeah.
and I saw another world there, and I thought this world is so different from what I have seen. And English was something which I was not good at back then.
Oh, really?
I was not.
Absolutely doesn't feel like it. It has been polished thoroughly.
I went to Bangalore, and I realized that English gives you a status. Although it was a wrong notion, I can vouch for that. But back then, I thought English is a very important aspect.
How did you work on it? Because you are speaking so fluently.
Nobody taught at home. In school also, I went to English medium.
Our houses also nobody spoke English.
And even in school, although it was English medium, but nobody spoke English except while teaching.
Yeah, right.
So, but my teachers were speaking in English with me. And when I went to Bangalore, I realized that English is important. Although it was again a wrong notion, but I took it upon myself that I want to learn this language and thoroughly be fluent in it.
Okay.
So I learned this language. I watched a lot of movies. I started communicating with my friends in English. So and I think Bangalore's main language is English.
English, yeah.
So it helped being there, and So in 4 years of my college life,
it got polished
somewhat. Yes.
So Rahul, you just mentioned that to hone your English skills, you used to watch a lot of English films, converse with your friends in English. I want to ask you, which are your favorite films?
My favorite film of all time is Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, okay.
I like that movie because I personally connect with that movie a lot.
Okay.
And I think we have to follow our heart more than what
right,
brain tells.
Right.
That was the story of the movie.
Do you read books?
I used to read, but these days I read only UPSC books. So I don't have time to read other books.
Okay. What genre of films or books do you like?
My favorite genre is the perception changing.
Okay.
Where the character transforms from one type to other type.
Okay.
That is my favorite genre.
You feel it reflects you in some way?
Yeah, I think character development is a part of everyone's journey. And if that is shown on the big screen, everyone feels connected to that.
Right.
So that aspect, I think, which attracts me the most. Okay. And also social movies.
Social issues.
Like the Article 15.
Okay.
There was Ayushman has made a lot of movies on social issues. I think those movies.
Right. When we talk about cracking the difficult exam of UPSC, we should never forget the role that parents play in the success of UPSC, successful candidates. And in Rahul's case, it is his parents, Mr. Jayavant Patil and Mrs. Surekha Patil, as well as his bhabhi. And we just missed by a whisker of a second, portraying his brother Preetam Patil, and his sister as well, who is in Bangalore, who played a very major role. I want to ask you, Rahul, to tell us about your parents.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my parents. And I think without their support, this wasn't possible. It took me 5 attempts. And I think most parents, or rather, they would have told, okay, it's time now, let's move on. But my parents were very adamant that I should keep continuing this journey. And I think this result is as much as, this success is as much as much as it is mine.
Right.
I think. So I think a big credit goes to them as well.
Sir, तुम्हाला विचारायचं आहे की ह्या सगळ्या प्रयत्नांमध्ये राहुलचा जो प्रयत्न सुरू होता त्यावेळेला तुमच्या मनाची अवस्था काय होती? त्यांनी आता म्हटलं की 5 अटेम्प्ट लागले त्यांना, तर हे सहज सोपं नक्कीच नव्हतं. तुम्ही ठामपणे उभे राहिला त्यावेळेला तुमची मानसिक अवस्था काय होती? पण तुम्ही त्याला तर डिस्टर्ब करू शकत नव्हता.
पहिले 2-3 अटेम्प्टला काय वाटलं नाही.
हा.
पण तिसऱ्या अटेम्प्ट मध्ये पण नाही झाला. त्याचा शब्दात सांगणं पण कठीण आहे, भीती वाटत होती.
ओके.
कारण हा एवढा हुशार असून देखील हा क्लिअर होत नाही,
बरोबर आहे.
टफ असणार एक्झाम.
बरोबर.
आणि वय जवळजवळ 25-26 झालं होतं. आता याच्या पुढे कसं
हो.
नाही झालं तर काय, कारण त्याच्या आधी तो एनडीए क्लिअर केला होता.
ओके.
पण
तिन्ही मुलांना प्रोफेशनल एज्युकेशन दिलंय आणि कलखाम सारख्या गावात राहून तुम्ही शिक्षणाला इतकं महत्व दिलंय, हे बघून खूप बरं वाटतंय.
थँक्यू. पण त्याच्यासाठी याचं श्रेय सगळं तिन्ही मुलाला जात आहे.
नक्कीच.
कारण या मुलांनी जे काही करत गेले ते आपल्या परीनं आणि मेरिट वरती होत गेले.
बरोबर.
त्यामुळे पैशांची अशी चणचण कधी झाली नाही.
बरोबर.
हे सगळं मेरिट वरती करत गेले. तर राहुल दिल्लीला होता, थोडं कोचिंग करून तो आपला पण थोडं
ओके
इन्कम करत होता.
ओके ओके.
त्याबद्दल आणि फक्त आमचं एकच होतं की मी सांगण्यासारखं काहीच नाही. मी लहानपणापासून मुलाला कधीही मी सांगितलं नाही तुम्ही असं करा
हे कर ते कर असं कधीच नाही.
आणि त्याच्यामध्ये ती स्वतः करत गेली तिन्ही मुलं. प्रीतमला तरी स्पोर्ट्स मध्ये फार चांगला होता. तो बेळगाव मधून युनियन जिमखाना मधून खेळलाय, गोव्याला चौगले कंपनी मधून खेळलाय. फार चांगला त्याचं करिअर तिथं होतं.
ओके.
पण शेवटी मध्ये थोडं पॉलिटिक्स तिथं पण आलं. मग
ठीक आहे. पण आता सगळे मार्गाला लागलेत. सुरेखाताई, मला तुम्हाला विचारायचं आहे की तुम्ही खूप छान हसताय, आनंद दिसतोय चेहऱ्यावर तुमच्या. तर कसं वाटतंय, इतके सगळे नातेवाईक घेऊन गेले, इतका सत्कार झाला, आज मोठा अधिकारी होणार आहे, सनदी अधिकारी, कसं वाटतंय तुम्हाला?
छान वाटतंय. थोडंफार होतं मध्ये टेन्शन, भीती वाटत होती, म्हणजे तो माइंडला काहीतरी करून घेईल असे.
इतकं स्ट्रेस असतं ना त्या परीक्षेचं, हे वाटणं साहजिक आहे.
वाईट वाटत.
ओके.
परीक्षा झाली, काहीतरी होऊ नसलं तर एकदम असं डोळ्यातनं पाणी येऊन.
पण आता तुम्ही खुश आहे ना?
खुश.
ओके.
ठीक आहे.
Just have a look at where we are standing. We are amidst the garden just besides Rahul's house, and we have some great mango trees and an apple tree here just behind me. There's a patch of radish here, and this is all, Rahul says, it is the work of love of his mother, who loves this sort of a kitchen garden, and it makes it all the more endearing. So as we say, Manninu Maga, so you are so closely associated with farming. Do you also meddle with the gardening and, do you also dirty your hands with mud?
I was there yesterday.
You were?
I was preparing ground for the sowing of some seeds.
Okay. What have you sown? Because this is going to be very memorable.
I was sowing the bhindi.
Bhindi. Okay. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So do you grow all your table vegetables and fruits here only?
Bhindis.
There's bhindi. Oh my God, there's okra here. Such a small plant, and already there is bhindi, there is radish here, there is apple there, there is coriander here.
So all the household stuff is available
grown here. Okay. So you understand agriculture. What is your family background, your parents and brother?
I come from a farming family.
Okay.
All my uncles are also in the farming.
Okay.
Although my father has moved out of farming, but we still go to our farms.
Okay.
For harvesting and others for sowing.
You still did that work right up to your...
I was still doing, up to 12th I did 12th. Regularly, but after 12th I went out to Bangalore.
Okay.
So somewhat it got cut off.
Okay.
But whenever I come home, I ensure that I go to my farms.
Okay.
And
what do you grow on your farm?
Mostly in the monsoon we grow rice.
Okay.
Paddy,
okay.
And in the winter it's pulses or something else.
Okay.
Every year.
Okay. How has Belgaum left an imprint? Because now henceforth you are going to be across India. If you get IFS or something, will be outside India. But your roots are definitely going to be in Belgaum. How do you feel you're going to take a part of Belgaum with you wherever you go? What is that going to be, apart from, of course, your family and your home?
I think Belgaum has left a big imprint on my life.
Okay.
And it's something which will go with me wherever I go.
Okay.
And my friends, my family, my soil, everything is here. It's very difficult to leave this place and go work somewhere else. But I wish if I get an opportunity, I'll always come here.
Come back and serve Belgaum.
My people.
What is it that you're going to miss about Belgaum?
I think right now I can't talk about weather because today the weather is hot.
Very hot.
But weather in Belgaum is very amicable in general.
Yeah.
And we have so many places to go around.
Right.
The Western Ghats, the other places. I think that is the best. And
the sea is near, the mountains are near, the temples are there.
The best part about Belgaum is the people.
Sweet people.
Sweet people. I think we don't see such people elsewhere. I've lived in Delhi, I've lived in Bangalore. But people like Belgaum are rare to find actually.
Yeah, very sweet talking, very good at heart. Although we always say like they are not very ambitious, but I think that is the essence, that they are not aspirational because they are happy and contented.
Yes.
Today's world we see that people have everything, but there is no contentment.
Yeah.
We have that. I think that is like, you know.
I think being content is good.
Yeah.
In this cutthroat life that we are living, being content is very nice.
I remember Alchemist.
Yeah.
You know, where the protagonist is asked to go and search for a treasure or the other part of the world, and he comes back to find the treasure in his courtyard itself. So that is how it is with Belgaum.
Yeah.
So we are going to wrap up this very special and 13th episode of Small Town Big Stories. We are at the home of Rahul Patil, who is a UPSC, successfully cleared UPSC with 804 rank, and definitely he is going to go places and make Belgaum proud. With more such stories, we are going to come back with yet another episode of Small Town Big Stories. Till then, take care.